Yo, welcome back to the channel, people. We've got one more Act 7.4 boss solo video for you. It's from the 5th quest now. And yeah, essentially I haven't managed to get, the reason I said the last one is because I didn't manage to get a solo on Kang across the 6 paths that I had in that quest. I think the closest I got was getting him quite low in the 3rd phase and then just messing up. Usually I've got him down like 1 or 2 revives. So yeah, moving on to this boss solo video, we've got the namor boss up first, and right, basically the main node on him is called Crisis of Opportunity, and the way this works is quite similar to Encroaching Stun in that you have this 20-second timer, and when it runs out, whereas with Encroaching Stun you would get stunned, with this one, if you're not throwing a special attack, you're going to eat some degen damage, which is equivalent, I think, to the Defender's attack. So it's not the beefiest degen in the world. I think 1 or 2 points maybe I do eat that degen, but generally I am trying to throw my specials because yeah, you don't want to obviously take degen damage, and there are bonuses as well. So when you throw your special at the end of that timer, you gain a passive fury effect. Obviously this is if your special animation is still ongoing when the timer finishes. However, if you don't, obviously then you take degen, as we've said before. However, there's also a 3rd clause in this where if the defender's throwing their special attack when that timer runs out, then not only are you going to take degen from this, but they're going to gain the passive fury as well. So what other nodes are there? Well, there's biohazard as well. So as you can see, I've brought in Warlock for this because he's not only immune to bleed, which you can have a chance of gaining on you when you strike the defender, but also immune to the poison that you might gain from striking their block. So generally a bleed immune could be enough, but with the amount of potential hitting into block you're going to have to do to bait out, try and anything from the defender, which as you can see has not worked there, and I'm going to eat a special 3. You do want obviously someone who's dual bleed and poison immune. Then what else is there? Well, you can see him gaining loads of power gain buffs. That's because he's got powerful from afar. I'm going to take a block here as well, and look how close I am to dying. But of course this is a boss solos video, so just wait for the clutch is all I'll say, and thank goodness for adrenaline. But yeah, powerful from afar is the reason he's getting all these power gain buffs. So obviously you want to stay quite aggressive. Thankfully he's got another node on him, which is which is the aggression node itself, which makes him aggressive, and that's something I didn't really take advantage of until towards the end here, when I am so low on health that I don't really have much choice other than to just go all out on him, start intercepting like crazy. But obviously the aggression node plays into that playstyle, and therefore that's what you want to do, because as you see here, no powerful from afar it triggers in terms of giving him power gain, because we're just keeping him pinned against the wall going crazy. And yeah, throw the special here as well at the end of that timer, just so you get the passive fury, which will just allow me again to just stay aggressive. Look at some of the numbers on these crits, like 38k median, was it 25k, 16k, beautiful. And yeah, from literally having like, I don't know, 1 HP at one point, we've clutched out the solo, which is lovely. Alright, so second up we've got this killmonger boss, and yeah, so he's got Extinction Protocol, which means as his power goes up, he will gain more attack, and obviously every special he throws as well, he's going to gain an increase in his power rate. But another key note here is that every time you parry, you're going to place an armor break on him, which means no worry about reverberation, and really opens up the amount of options you can use on him. He's also got I think it's no crit, no mercy or something like that. Essentially every time you knock him down, he's going to gain a crit passive, a cruelty passive, sorry, which will just obviously increase his critical damage. He's also got power shield, so you're going to do no damage outside of special attacks. And yeah, these all pretty much play into just making Doom really good for this. I think there's one more node, which is redouble determination as well. Every debuff on him is going to increase his power that he gains. So yeah, it just makes for quite a straightforward Doom fight, where you can just keep the armor breaks up on him so you won't take reverb damage, get his power up quite quickly as well, and as a result just be able to Doom cycle him. But yeah, there's really not much else to say for this boss solo. It's quite straightforward. I do end up taking a fair bit of block damage, that's just from really like turtling up and blocking a lot more than I probably needed to. But yeah, like this is going to be a pretty straightforward Doom rotation. And yeah, one of, I'd say, the easier bosses, definitely, especially with a power shield, just nutty damage from doing when you start getting those furies on. I think just one more thing to note on this fight actually as well is you'll notice I go for just straight special 3s pretty much till I have Killmonger and finishing distance, purely because I didn't want to throw a special 2, get a ton of incinerates on him with addition to the armor break, and then redoubled potentially gets out of control. Of course Doom does have power control, but it just takes a bit of a slip up and suddenly you might send Killmonger red or whatever. I just felt I was more comfortable just going straight special 3s, though I imagine, yeah, this fight probably could have been a bit quicker using the special 2 earlier. But yeah, no, straightforward solo, and I will be back to commentate over the final fight, which is Mr. Negative, and I actually found that probably one of the trickier bosses in the entirety of Act 7. Right, so the final boss is this Mr. Negative here. So to go over the notes quickly, he's got playing favorites, which basically means at the start of the fight, he's going to select a type of attack, whether it be light, medium, or heavy, and that's going to be the attack that you get plus, I think, 100% damage and 100% ability accuracy for, whereas you lose 100% attack and 100% ability accuracy for the other 2 types of attack. Every time you or the defender throws a special, this type of chosen attack will change. So essentially you're going to see me go in with Archangel and kind of cheese it, essentially. So I go in and the selected attack is heavy attacks, which just set me up for an easy solo basically. There's not much else to say in terms of Archangel and what he's going to do. He's going to shut off ability accuracy and therefore most of the nodes here and just nuke it down with straight heavies. But getting into the other nodes, there's also energy adoption incinerate. So basically when you strike the defender, there's a chance to be incinerated, and if you do try to use an incinerate on him, he'll regen, like I think plus a huge amount basically. But of course Archangel shuts that node off. Then he is immune to to regeneration modification. So if you are basically using an incinerator, if you stack enough incinerators where they would usually reverse or stop the healing, I assume you can't reverse it basically because he's immune to regen ability modification. And the final note to explain is just every time the defender throws a special, you get an armor break and heal block debuff on you. So the reason that's there is to stop Ghost just absolutely cheesing it, but thankfully Archangel can do that anyway. So yeah, as you can see, it took me longer to actually read through the nodes for that fight than it actually took Archangel to do it. But the reason I said I found it one of the harder ones is that fight in particular, getting the heavies as the chosen attack straight away as well, really set it up for Archangel. I took that fight 4 times because I soloed the namor. Actually no, 3 times because yeah, I soloed the namor and Killmonger quite quickly, so tried the Mr. Negative 3 times in the end. And yeah, I tried, I think, Kingpin the other 2, or maybe tried Kingpin once, Mole Man once, or whatever, and it just didn't quite line up the same way. But definitely not too bad a boss. It's just, for me, felt like one of the more annoying ones. I think it was just not quite lining up the right way for me. But yeah, that will be it for this boss solos video, and for this series even of 7.4 boss solos. So I hope it does provide some use to anyone going through Act 7.4, needing just some gameplay or tips for the boss fights, and best of luck to people who maybe do use it. But yeah, that will be it. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.